Hi. I'm robo-Suzie and today I'll talk to you about what are hemorrhoids and how do you know you have them. Also don't forget to check out the link below, for the most comprehensive, multifaceted program for fixing hemorrhoids. It has a very high success rate. But back to our topic. Have you recently had to ask someone what are hemorrhoids? If so, you probably were a little embarrassed since it is not something anyone really likes to speak about, but it is a very common condition. The more you know about the types of hemorrhoids, the better you can identify the type you have. Internal hemorrhoids, what do they look like? You asked what are hemorrhoids, but did you know there are two different kinds? It is important to know this so you can help identify the kind you have. Internal hemorrhoids are normally caused as a result of chronic constipation where you continually strain to have a bowel movement. Symptoms of internal hemorrhoids. The symptoms of internal hemorrhoids include bright red blood in your stool. The blood is normally at the end of your bowel movement, but you may find streaks of blood in the toilet. Internal hemorrhoids are often small and may not have any pain associated with it. However, if the veins around the anus swell large enough, it can protrude outside of the anus causing extreme pain. External hemorrhoids, what do they look like? Since you know what are hemorrhoids and internal hemorrhoids, you should also know about external hemorrhoids. External hemorrhoids, on the other hand, can cause quite a bit of bleeding, and can be associated with very painful lumps on the outside of the anus. It can make sitting very uncomfortable when the hemorrhoids are swollen. Symptoms of external hemorrhoids. Besides the obvious swollen tissues on the outside of the anus, these develop blood clots and if they do, become extremely hard and very painful. Other symptoms include pain, blood in the stool, pools of blood in the toilet, feeling the hemorrhoids when you sit down. Causes for external hemorrhoids. External hemorrhoids can also be caused by diet, lack of fiber, and straining to have a bowel movement. In addition, heredity can play a part in whether you develop hemorrhoids since there does seem to be a genetic link. What does the color of the hemorrhoids tell you? When you ask what are hemorrhoids, you should also be aware of the different colors and how the color can help you recognize the type better. Color of internal hemorrhoids. Internal hemorrhoids, if they are visible, are normally a very light red, but many times these internal varieties are not visible at all. It depends on the extent of the swelling. Color of external hemorrhoids. External hemorrhoids, on the other hand, tend to be more brownish in color and are normally found around the anus opening rather than poking through. Thrombosed hemorrhoids, the most painful type. Thrombosed hemorrhoids are actually external hemorrhoids that have developed a blood clot in them, and it turns the hemorrhoids hard and is the most painful type of hemorrhoids. This type of hemorrhoid also needs to have medical treatment as soon as you discover, which is easy due to the hardness of it and the pain. Summarizing. What are hemorrhoids? They can be extremely painful, or they can be uneventful depending on the type of hemorrhoids you have. Internal hemorrhoids tend to be less painful, and in fact, the only symptom you may have is a bit of bright red blood when having a bowel movement. However, sometimes with internal hemorrhoids, if the blood vessels swell too much, it can cause pain and they may even be seen visibly. External hemorrhoids are often quite painful, and because the swelling can protrude from around the anus, it can cause extreme itching, pain, and discomfort when sitting. External hemorrhoids can turn into thrombosed hemorrhoids if the external develop blood clots. This is the most painful and often the ones that require surgery in order to get relief. Final thoughts. Adding fiber into your diet and avoid extremely high-fat foods can definitely help you not strain as much on the toilet, which in turn eliminates hemorrhoids. That's it. Thank you. Please subscribe, comment and like this video if it was helpful. See you soon.